Hey everybody, thank you so much for stopping in and just spending some time with me tonight. I am on little sleep. I just got done working for 12 hours. It's been a really long day, so I was really excited to come home and just talk tarot with my friends, and that's what we're going to do tonight. I was thinking with the tarot lessons, I don't want to post them like weekly because I don't want people to feel pressure to rush through their lessons if they're following along. So I plan to, as we initially build up these lessons and as I record them, to post little in between the lessons with some tarot tips and advice from my experience as a tarot reader. I've been reading the cards for 16 years, so I've had a lot of adventures with tarot, and I thought that this would be a good opportunity to add a little bit of extra tarot into your lessons and into your study. Some more advice, we can still talk the cards, and then you can apply it into your life, and you can kind of take what I've learned and then use it for yourself so that you don't make the same mistakes I've made, stuff like that. So tonight we're talking about reading for minors, reading for teenagers, reading for kids, and all of that kind of crazy stuff. I can remember growing up, going to the fair, and there would always be a tarot reader there. It would be like 18 or older, and I was like, what's in that tent and that mystery? And I just kind of just gonna fluff up my hair actually. Sorry. Gotta look good for you guys. I don't know. I'm losing it. I'm on like, yeah, it was a long day. But anyway, I can remember that. I remember seeing that and thinking like, why can't I get a reading? Why do you have to be 18? And I mean, I understand now. I do. But I also knew that when I started reading the cards and started my own career, that I wouldn't be so hard on the younger audience or the younger people. I wanted to embrace them and let them be involved and experience the cards. So I always knew when I first started that I would probably be someone that's going to be okay with reading for young people. My first real experience for reading with young people was at the Scare to Care, which was a haunted house that's being put on in St. John, where we that year it was the Carnival of Terror. So they had a tarot reader there, fortune teller, and that was me. And all the money from the readings was going to the Canadian Mental Health Association. And I noticed that a lot of the people that were in line for tarot readings were teenagers, and I thought, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to read for these young people. I'm jumping off the ledge and I'm going to try this because I'm not going to turn away half of the donations. I mean, I'm not going to say no to money that's going to help a cause that's very dear to my own heart. So I jumped in. I just jumped in, and I have to tell you, it was so much fun. I had so much fun. Young people have a different energy, especially teenagers. They have this real static kind of energy. They're all over the place. Their hormones are all over the place. Their feelings are all over the place. And when young people feel something, they feel it with their whole heart. And they're so much more real and truthful and honest. They don't come into a reading and sit down with some mask on, trying to hide who they are. And I love that. I love how the cards will get into things, and it's just like, holy moly. They'll shock you. It'll surprise you sometimes what's going on in these young people's lives, but it's very interesting and worthwhile to give it a try. But if you're going to do that, you have to think about some rules and how you're going to go about making sure it's a safe environment for these minors and that you're not doing anything that could cause some problems in the future. When I was reading at Scared Care, I didn't really think it through all the way, so I brought my Rider-Waite deck, and of course the Rider-Waite deck does have some nudity in it, and I definitely had a parent or two, like when the star would come up or the lovers, kind of give me that look, like, look, there's a penis, or boobs or whatever. I had a kid be like, oh my god, boobs. But I mean, it's very crude biology. It's not super graphic or anything. So it was fine, but it did make me think, kind of maybe bring an alternative deck, especially for young kids. So I'll use the Rider-Waite on teens and stuff like that. I mean, there's nothing they haven't seen before. Let's be real. But for kids, I learned not to use the Rider-Waite and to do something else. So I have a really fun Halloween tarot, which is completely innocent and very, it's almost very childlike. I'll use that, or I have different fairy oracle decks and fairy card decks that have no nudity and no real like dark cards per se. So I'll use those for kids. And speaking of dark cards, that's another thing to think about, is that you don't want to be doing a reading for like say a 7 or 8 year old and pull the Tower, the Devil, Death, you know, 10 of Swords, 3 of Swords, 3 of Hearts, oh my god, 3 of Swords, my brain, gone, it's like not here. Oh geez. So yeah, so you want to think about that. You don't want some kid to get some horrible reading. So I would advise you to take a peek at the deck that you're going to use for kids and skim through and take out any cards that you think would make your own child scared or uncomfortable, or even yourself uncomfortable a little bit. I'm not for taking cards out or stacking the deck, and I absolutely would never do that with an adult reading. But with children, things are a little bit different, and it really is an entertainment thing for kids. I don't really think young children search out a tarot reader, you know? It's more that you're there. I read for a lot of children. When I do events, I go to Indigo Books, and they have me come in to help with their charity, their Love of Reading program, and I help raise money for that, and they will have me there, and people can donate to it, and it's usually kids. Like when I did a Harry Potter midnight party for when the Cursed Child came out, and I've done like around Halloween and things like that, so kids are coming. So I always just make sure to have some form of deck, something that is ready to go for them, that there's no way in awkward situations going away and say. It's also for me because their parents are with them, right? And then you're pulling out all these dark cards, and then you got to listen to mom or dad who's like completely white in the face and terrified. I mean, you just don't want to go down that road. So I definitely advise that. Speaking of parents, it's extremely important if you're going to read for young people to get the parents' permission. Now with teens, I do treat it a little bit different. If I am in a public space like the carnival I was at, or if I was at a psychic fair, or if I was at the bookstore reading tarot cards there, or reading just in public, I would be fine reading for a teenager. As long as they look mature and that they act mature, which 99% of them do, I will read for them. If I'm doing a private reading out of my home, however, for someone who is a minor, I make sure that their parents come with them and that their parents are present during the reading. And that's for my own protection as well as for their protection. So I would highly recommend to you, if you're reading out of your house, even if you do over the phone readings or anything like that, make sure that the parent is somehow involved and aware. We were all young, we've all been there, we've all told lies, and kids today are the same, so they may tell you everything's fine, yes, mom and dad agree, or mom agrees, and then you come to find out that they absolutely do not agree, and they're trying to burn you at the stake. I mean, it's happened before to people, so just be cautious of that. Think about that. Make sure the parents give you their buy-in, that they give you their okay, and if you're reading for a kid, make sure that mom or dad is right there with them the whole time, because you just want to make sure that everybody feels safe, everybody feels comfortable, and that it's a positive experience. And that's another thing. With teens, you can be a little bit more direct and honest, and you can tell them, give them heads up or warnings when they come up in the deck. You can do that with them. But with little kids, keep it positive, keep it happy, keep it light, keep it motivational. And also with young people, keep it motivational. You want to have that person leave feeling lifted up, feeling like they can accomplish something, feeling like their future is good and positive. They have a lot to look forward to. You want them to, it's almost like a guidance counselor session in a way, and it's an opportunity for you to plant some really positive seeds into their mind so they can be successful. I had 2 young boys come to me wanting a reading, and they were probably 11 or 12, I would say, and they wanted to know if they were going to be hockey players. Well, of course, the tarot doesn't just come out and say, yes, you're going to be a hockey player, you're going to be in the NHL, and blah, blah, blah. But the tarot definitely will show you a path that you can take to get there, and that's kind of what happened with these boys, is that their cards were very positive. I remember there was a lot of wands and a lot of pentacles, so a lot of that like passion, following your passion, and then I took the pentacles as their body, so working out, staying fit, taking care of yourself, going to lessons, playing hockey, being active. So that was kind of my message to these kids, was like, you can do this, you can achieve this dream, but you're going to have to work for it, and you're going to have to really be dedicated to it. Those kids left there telling me that they're going to be in the NHL, they're going to work really, really hard, they're going to continue to stay in hockey, and they promised that they would give a shout out to me in the future when they're famous. So waiting for that shout out, kids, in a few more years. I thought that was really awesome, though. I thought that was a really cool experience. It was interesting to see these kids' faces light up, be excited. And all I really did was tell them what any person would tell them. It was just giving some good, honest advice about how if you work hard, you can make it happen. And I feel like that's something that we all can appreciate. And I really think that it did help those kids. They left there feeling really, really good, talking about how they're going to be famous and marrying models. Oh, gosh. But yeah, so be positive. Plant a positive seed. Make that kid feel good. Make them feel like they are on the top of the world, because you never know, you might be the only positive light in their lives. We don't know what's happening. So if you can just leave that one positive spark for somebody, for especially a young person or a little person, that's a big deal. So absolutely take advantage of that and do that, and just be kind and be yourself and talk to them like they're people. Don't, especially teenagers, don't talk to teenagers like they're children. I mean, we were all teenagers once and remember what that's like, and it's shitty. So don't talk to them like they're children. Talk to them like they're adults. But also, that said, don't, go give them all gloom and doom either. Definitely make sure you're building them up, that you're being positive. You could really be that light in their life. So it's important to do that. With spreads, I recommend, for teens, you can do a Celtic cross. You can do whatever you want. But with little kids, I would say a 3-card reading max. You don't really have a lot to go on with little kids. I mean, their lives haven't lived a lot. They haven't experienced a lot. So I find that with the cards, it's better to less is more, and you'll get more out of it. And it really seems like the cards, for me anyway, really focus on the future when I'm reading for kids. It's all about their future and where they're going and all of that good stuff. So focus on that. Yeah, so I guess that's it. I think that's all that I have to share in tips that I have. Let me know. Do you read for kids? Would you not read for kids? Are you someone like that do you do what I do and pick out a kind of a different deck for young people? Or are you just absolutely a hard no? I would love to hear about it. I want to know what other tarot readers are doing and what you do to be successful and to enjoy reading the cards. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and spending some time with me. I am going to be making another little video like this shortly, just to kind of continue with the tarot theme and the in between the lessons. And before you know it, we'll be on to lesson number 2. So thanks again, and I hope you have an amazing night, and I really appreciate you. Bye.